particular instrumental on radio, you know what time it is? It is time for another edition of your Tuesday morning tonic. I call it Tuesday tonic on radio. It's called Arise and Start because fortune awaits the bold. Of course, Dr. Ugochukwu Emmanuel is alive in this day. He's having a different look today. He's wearing Papa's cap. That's whether he's black man. I know. Anyways, I'm sure he has a lot for us today. Today is, if I'm not mistaken, the last Tuesday.
Yeah, the last Tuesday
of May. And it's funny how time flies. By June now will be, in the middle of the year. I think one of the things you should also let us know in Arise and Start is how you can be able to grade your performance for first half of the year and look at what you have done, what you have not done, and how you can be able to, do better and second half. Because sometimes we'll start off with a lot of objective and aims and aspirations for the year, but the kataza year about half. anyhow we do. Let us, but I don't think that's the best thing to do.
No,
I think you need to have a target, for yourself as an entrepreneur for the year.
Yeah.
And then even if you've not been able to achieve it by the 6 months of the year, there has to be a way for you to check and balance and then do something about it.
Yeah.
So that you can be able to at least, even if you don't hit it at the end of the year, but at least be very close to it, or hit it or surpass it, as the case may be.
Yes. Good morning, viewers and our listeners. Welcome again to Arise and Start. So, just like you suggested, I think it's a very maybe I will incorporate it in our next episode.
Because that's like first week of June.
Yeah, first week of June. So that we'll kind of do, try to assess our progress over the past 5 months, and then know where we need to put in more effort and all that. Yeah, this is kind of a personal development, so I'll work on that.
Okay.
So last week we talked about funding your startup, and so the feedback I'm getting is I should talk more on it. Okay. Yeah, and
so we'll have feedback.
Yeah, we'll have feedback.
Shout out to everybody who's feeding us back.
All right. So and also, luckily, we didn't finish. It was too loaded, so we didn't finish everything exactly. So let me just do a recap, and then we could start. So I'll start my recap with common mistakes that entrepreneurs make. So, asking somebody to invest in your business is an uphill task, because as the Bible says, money answereth all things, and sometimes the difference between one level to another could be money, and investors take a lot of risk to get the money. Most times these are pensions, and from maybe pension companies and all that, to get it back, and they have to pay back interest. So for you to get them to put in some money into your business, you need to do your check and balances. You need to be sure of what you're coming to the table with, and that is why they are very rigid when it comes to money. However, on the average, in every 10 companies that investors invest in across the world, they end up making money from just about 2. Yeah. So typically, the investor will do all their check and balances, but at the back of their mind, they know that after investing in about 10 companies, they'll probably come up very, very successfully with about 2, and then maybe 1 would do averagely. They expect that at least more than 5 will be a failure.
So now, how do they now recover their money?
So now, so the 2 that did very, very well,
they
get their money from there. You understand? So that's basically, so it's just like spreading your eggs. You understand? So they always spread their eggs with the mindset that, after we would have done our due diligence, there are some factors that we don't know that can, come up. Yeah. So having said that, common mistakes that entrepreneurs make is no clear business model. So I know we talked about business model in one of our episodes, being how you plan to deliver value, capture value, and also make money from it. So every entrepreneur should be able to understand what their business model is. They should be able to understand their customers. They should have a strong financial record, because when you're speaking with an investor, and no matter who the investor is, even if it's your father or maybe a close relative or a friend, they would like to be sure that your financial records are clear, that they can look at your financial record and understand where you've been and where you're going to. They also want to see your traction. What partnerships do you have on ground? What have you done so far? Like we said last time, if your money is not where your mouth is, how do you expect someone to put their money into your business? So your business, you have to put some money into your business, even if you don't have money, but you have to put equity, sweat equity, what we call sweat equity. That's your strength, your skills into what you're doing, to take it to a next level, to the point where you can present it to an investor. You don't just come and present an idea that you've not yet tried. You should be able to try the idea. I give an example with maybe assuming you're starting a business, and it's a business that requires soft skills like software development. Yeah, it would be nice for the investor to see that, okay, you have this skill, and then you've developed the websites, or maybe written the codes, and then you can quantify that code with the market value. So let's say to develop a website will cost like 1.2 million, and then your business is website based, and then you have the skill to develop it, and have the links or contacts to do that. After developing that, you can present it with the equivalent value of what it costs in the marketplace to develop it, as what you've contributed to your business. So but you must, the bottom line is that you must do something. You must do something.
So you need to do something.
Yeah, you need to do something. You don't just come with an empty plate, to ask for food.
Get some food first.
Eat some food first.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and there's something I also want to talk about. For an entrepreneur, one of the reasons people don't get investment is poor presentation. So your number one duty as an entrepreneur is to market yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to. It's the number one skill an entrepreneur needs to have. You should be able to market yourself. You should be able to market your product. You are the number one marketer of your idea, your product or company, whatever you're doing. So if you can't sell it to an investor, then there's a big problem there. So you should be able to communicate what you're doing. You should be able to, bring the facts, who are your customers and all that. The investor or group of investors that are listening to you should be able to know that you understand what you're doing. Because in the end, the investor first check who they're investing in before the business.
Okay.
Because the level of understanding you have about the business and the strengths you possess as an individual has a lot of influence on the business you're running. So that's why we talk about personal development, and I think hopefully by next month we'll dive in more on personal development. Because you have to build yourself to the point where you'll be able to present to investors and also influence the direction of your business. Yeah.
Wonderful.
So let's now go to what investors really want. So investors oftentimes want evidence that the problem is real. The problem you're presenting is real, right? And that the problem has customers. Because if the problem is real and the problem has customers, then money will flow. Because money is in the pocket of customers. So if it's a real problem and there is demand for it, then there will be customers and then money will flow. So why this is very important to investors is because as an investor is putting money into your business, he's also all eyes open to where the money he's putting in will come out from, right? And not just the money he's putting in. Will the money he's putting in come out with children, like with profits? You understand? So it's very, very important. The business you're presenting must be solving a problem, must have demands, that must have customers, and must be profitable. You know, very, very important. Let me give an example with the first investment we got in our business was from Tony Elumelu Foundation, but the second one was from an international investor. So, and we were really drilled, you know. So we had to answer questions on, our traction, what we've done so far. Questions on what we've done so far. Questions on our financial track record. Questions on the demand. Is there demand for our product? What are customers saying? So even if, at the point we had this investor, we had not sold any product, but we had actually gone into the market to test our product and to, get survey and response and feedbacks from customers. So that also impressed, the investors, and even just like I mentioned earlier on, you have to do something. So the product we actually went into the market with to test, because then we were still building our smart meters. So the smart meter we went to the market to test, we built it with our hands, and it was just a prototype, but it had the features to be able to speak to what we're able to do. So which also impressed the investors. You understand? So key things is there a problem? Yeah, there was a problem. It was clear. We were able to explain that we have problem of metering gap in Nigeria, and was there demand? Obviously there was demand, and then there was so these are your ideas. Have you developed a prototype around it? We'll be able to present a prototype around it. So when we ticked all this, and then our presentation was wow. When we were able to kick all this, they invested in the company, and the more another thing with investors, because what they did was a seed investment. Now, once they invest a seed investment in your company, and you use that, to take the business or the prototype to the next level, because they will still come back to ask to find out what you've done with the money, right? So if you're able to state what you want to do with the money, and you're able to do just exactly that and come up with the right outcomes, they will put in more money. The truth is that there are a lot of money, in quotes, monies lying around in banks. There are a lot of investors that want to invest, especially in Africa, but the right business, the right entrepreneurs are hard to find. Yeah. So I also add this quote: startups become fundable when it becomes believable. Your startup becomes fundable when it becomes believable. Yeah, it's like you want to ask a question.
No, I'm just trying to ask how far of the smart meters. That's what I wanted to where are we now and things like that. Maybe you don't want to talk about it, so let's talk about something else. So for an individual who's actually done all this, but then there's also this issue of uncertainty outcome. Like what I mean is that, there are challenges and things that can kind of slow you down, or where does that come in now? Because you can't just say something on paper and you come all through like that. Sometimes there might be challenges, there might be issues on the road while you're trying to make it work. How do you place that in?
Okay, so so without being because your last question wasn't that specific, but to give a general answer to it, what entrepreneurship is about solving problems. So you would always have challenges along the road. So, but an hallmark of an entrepreneur is not giving up.
Okay.
Right. And so let me give you an example now. For as big as Dangote is, if you listened to the interview he gave about the challenges he faced when he was building his refinery, he would.
I heard because he was always in the news talking about how did he want to do that, how did he want to do that one. But he didn't mention anybody.
He didn't mention it. It actually took him. It actually took him 5 to 7 years to secure the land, just the land, because the land had issues. You have to settle these. No, our country will like land well. You understand? So, so that alone, you understand? So anybody that is scared of challenges is not fit to be an entrepreneur. And that is why I like what you said earlier on when we started. We talked about personal development. Because it's what you have inside you that comes out to defend and, go through. If you're not built up inside, if your mindset is not properly built up or equipped, then you can't face challenges. Because what makes you, or what gives you, makes your business take the next step and move into the next level is its ability to overcome the challenges that it faces. You understand? So, and what I'll also add here is that one of the things that you need to prepare to, that you will need to prepare, in order to, be able to, defeat the challenges you face along your business is taking out time to prepare yourself and prepare your business before presenting it to investors.
So take out time to really prepare, ask counter questions, and
Exactly.
any question they might be able to try to ask yourself those questions so that you don't have issues.
Yeah, so one of the number one is, like I said earlier on, I'll go deep in it now, understanding your business clearly. Now, what kind of understanding do you have about the product you're bringing to the market? What's your revenue model? How do you intend to make profit? I talked about that. What's the market size? So one thing is coming up with a product, and if you're coming up with a product and about in the whole of this country and there's about 100 people that needs the product, then you don't have a good market size.
So what's your market population?
Yeah, what's your market population?
Okay, so what I'm asking, what should it be?
Okay,
10,000, 100,000, 200,000.
So your market size should be in the millions.
Oh,
because
I
any
like
investor, would like to be in the business. At least if you do a business for up to 10 years, 15 years, and 20 years, so you know that you're investing in something that has sustainability, right? Yeah. So then the next thing is building traction. So by traction, it means, what are the things you've done? So what partnerships do you have? What are the testimonies you have? So over time. So going back to, our pitch with that investor for our meter. So as at the time we pitched it, we had partnership with some utility companies here in Nigeria. So that helped us, because they saw that these guys have really done something, even though they've not sold anything yet, but they have proven evidence of utilities that are interested in the meter. Also, I talked about pilots. We did our pilots, so you should be able to do your pilot so that you'll be able to have something to tell your investors that we've done this, and this is the outcome, this is the response, this is the demand we're getting, or the feedback.
Finally, Doc, our time is up. We have 1 minute to go. Let's wrap it up.
All right. Then the fourth thing is something we've already mentioned. You have to keep track of your finances. What are your revenues, expenses, profits, and cash flow? The investors like to know that, because once you're clear on that, they know how their funds are going to return back to them as profits and all that. Then lastly, your pitch. I've already talked about that. You have to have present a good pitch, and like I always say, you have to start it yourself. Start something yourself. So investors and funders usually don't feel it when they are speaking to an entrepreneur that has not put in effort to invest in their business, either with their skills or with their money. So and in the end, execution will always attract funding.
Execution attracts funding, and that's it from us on the show this morning. And thank you so much for your feedback. Please keep them coming. That's the ginger we have to know that you're listening and you're learning. And also shout out to everyone who's watching us live on Facebook. So Doc, your social media handles. Let's go.
Yeah, so you can follow me on my social media handle at Dr. Ugo Ifediora. You can follow me on Facebook, on Twitter, and on YouTube.
All right, we'll see you same time, same station next week, God willing. For now, it's bye for now. Of course, Arise and Start because coaching
Awaits the bold.